Hi, I'm Darnell with Way Living Recipes, and this is my review of the Ninja Air Fryer. So I'm going to get it unboxed and bring you right back. Alright, so now that I've got it unboxed, let me just show you the power cord real quick. It's a 32-inch two-prong polarized plug, and this cooker is 1550 watts. That's 1550 watts. So that's getting close to the max that you can use on a kitchen outlet. So basically you probably don't want to have anything else on the same circuit unless it's very, very low wattage, like nightlight type wattage or something very low. You don't want to blow the circuit. And this cooker has 4 cooking functions. The temperature ranges are 105 degrees Fahrenheit to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. That depends on the function. And I don't know how to change it from Fahrenheit to Celsius, so for anyone interested in that, I'm sorry, but there's no guidance for you there. And the time ranges are between 1 minute to 12 hours. Of course, the time and temperature ranges vary depending on the function that's used. The dimensions for this air fryer are 14 inches in length by 11 inches in width by 13 inches in height, and it has 4 quarts capacity, and they say that it can hold up to 2 pounds of French fries. They also mentioned to give 5 inches of clearance for proper airflow, and they say that it weighs about 10 pounds. They also mentioned that you can use parchment paper or aluminum foil in it if you so choose to. Now I do want to mention, as we get deeper into this review here in this video, that here on this channel there are nearly 1,000 different types of cooking videos and reviews of cookers and things, and that covers well over 125 different types of countertop appliances. And so if you wanted to see anything else for a different type of cooker, you probably can find it here. But also, if anything in this review gets to a point that is not to your liking and you want to go to another point in the review, there is the chapters feature, there's timestamps feature in the video description. There are lots of ways to easily jump to the point of your preference. Alright, so now I'm giving you a closer up view of it. I did want to mention that they say that the plastic exterior is BPA free, and basically it only comes with one accessory, which is like the basket and the rack inside of there. And they say that they're coated with a ceramic coating. Don't confuse a ceramic coating with like your ceramic pots and stuff. In my opinion, ceramic coating is really just a marketing term for a chemical coating. It's not like your ceramic pots of old. And they say that the metal underneath the coating is aluminum. And that is why, personally, if a coating fails, I don't use these anymore if the coating fails, because usually underneath is aluminum, and that's not the type of thing you want getting mixed into your food. You do see inside of here that it's basically plastic here. I mean, there's metal on the bottom, but there's plastic. Then up inside of there, there's a big air fryer fan and heating coil there. I'm not seeing anything beyond that. I don't see any ambient probe or anything up there. And they say that the coating is PTFE free. Now for paperwork, they basically give you a quick start guide. They also give you a manual here. Inside of the quick start guide, there's like charts to give you some guidance on cooking. They also give you some recipes here as well. And so this book is about 30 pages, a little more than 30. Yeah, so it's 31 pages here. Some recipes, some cooking chart information, as well as the manual. And so I'm going to just show you around it really quick. So you see this front view here, then here on the side, nothing really there. You've got the air that comes in coming through the top here. And then on the other side, you see there. And in the back, you have the air exhaust coming out of the back here. So now I'm going to do some independent measurements. So we'll just start with the height of it here. I'm just going to put this here in the back and try and have a look. And I do see about 13 inches, as they said. Now going across the bottom of it here, we do have, let's see, putting the hand there, somewhere a little over 11, maybe under 12, that way. Now going this way here, from the hand, let's say from the handle to the back, just try and kind of get a good idea. It looks like It looks like it's over 13 inches this way. Yeah, it's a little over 13 inches that way. So now I'm going to open up. We'll do some measurements inside of it. Make sure you don't use anything abrasive inside of here. You don't want to scratch that coating. And so here we see for depth about 3.5 inches. Going this way, we see we've got under 9 inches, about 8.5. We've got 8.5 inches there, and it's circular. So same all the way around. So now we have the Ninja air fryer, which is 4 quarts, next to the Ninja Air Fryer Pro, which is 5 quarts, and a full review of this is here on the channel. We see the Ninja Air Fryer Pro is a little shorter than the Ninja Air Fryer. And as far as width, the Ninja Air Fryer Pro is a little wider, just from observation. And open them up here, we see the difference between the Ninja Air Fryer basket versus the Ninja Air Fryer Pro basket, which is larger. And so definitely you get like your extra quart in the Ninja Air Fryer Pro. Also front to back, they're roughly even front to back from what I can tell. Now I've got the Ninja Air Fryer next to the Cuisinart 6-quart basket air fryer. Full review of this is here on the channel. Also, there's a playlist for this and a playlist for the earlier video that I showed beside the Ninja air fryer. And so we see with the Cuisinart, it's almost as tall as the Ninja. It's definitely wider. Front to back, it's bigger. And also the Cuisinart has cord management on the back there, which you don't get from either of the Ninja air fryers. And going inside, we see that the Cuisinart basket's definitely larger than the 4-quart on the Ninja air fryer. And something I didn't point out earlier in those side-by-sides, the Ninja Air Fryer Pro has a metal interior, and this Ninja air fryer doesn't, and the Cuisinart doesn't. But having a metal interior is nice to have in most basket air fryers, because they all have metal baskets, but that kind of surrounding interior here, if it's metal, it gives you a little bit more heat insulation. And so now I'm going to do an initial plug-in. So let's get it plugged in here. We see when it's plugged in, just the power light comes on. So I guess if I just tap that, things light up. And so you see here that you have the temperature adjusters here. You have the time adjusters on the opposite side. And you have the different functions that we will go through, as well as the start pause button. Actually, you can pause it here. It's got a pause button. And you have the power button here that you can turn things on and off with. So I'm going to go through each of the functions with you and some details about each. So hitting the air fry function here, basically they recommend that you do a 3-minute preheat before you put food in. It doesn't have a dedicated preheat function, so you just have to run it like for 3 minutes extra before you put your food in. They also recommend that you toss the food somewhere at some point during the cook. That'll help to make sure that things cook evenly. And so basically, like with any function, of course you use temp to go up and down on temp, time to adjust time as you may need to. And they do have a little bit of guidance here on the side about different foods, but as I showed in the paperwork, you get a lot more detail about a lot of different ways to cook things in the paperwork, far more than you do on this little side guidance on the side of the air fryer. And there's the roast function here. With the roast function, they mentioned that you should also do a 3-minute preheat with the roast function. And they say if you're using a baking dish with the roast function, you don't need to use the crisper plate down there in the basket. You take that crisper plate out, put it in there with whatever dish it's in, and just cook it that way. And then there is the reheat function. And the reheat function, even though it's a reheat, they do mention in the manual that you should give it a 3-minute preheat, but most cookers, when you're just reheating, usually don't have like a preheat type of thing, so it's up to you. And then there's the dehydrate function. And with dehydrate, you can put ingredients on the bottom level, like take the basket rack out, and you can put stuff on the bottom of it, and then you can put the rack in and put things on top of that, so you get 2 layers of dehydration. So now I'm going to do a temperature test. I've got an oven thermometer here. I'm just going to put right there in the back of the basket, trying to put it further in the front. It kind of gets knocked over by the door a little bit. So closing things up and turning it on, going to air fry. I'm going to up the temp to the full 400 degrees Fahrenheit. For time, I'll just leave it at this 20 minutes. And so we're going to go ahead and hit start. Let things start running there for a little bit and we'll see what happens. And I immediately heard the oven thermometer knocked over. So the fan is pretty powerful. It immediately knocked the thermometer over. That usually doesn't happen with most basket air fryers where the fan is so powerful it knocks the thermometer over as soon as things start. So keep that in mind. This fan is pretty powerful. Alright, so now I'm doing a sound decibel check here. We're reading in the mid-50s. That's about normal for basket air fryers. I'm going to feel around just to see how hot things are. I do want to mention while I'm feeling around, you should always do a burn off on any basket or any type of countertop appliance, really any appliance literally, even conventional. You should run it like at a hotter temperature for at least 20 minutes or so, just to burn off any chemical stuff. But I'm not feeling any heat on the bottom here. No heat at all on the bottom on the table. That's good. I am feeling heat on the side there. I'm feeling some heat there. I can keep my hand on these places, but they're hot. It's like it's hot, but not too hot to touch, if you know what I'm saying. Handle is cool. Up here, likewise hot. I don't even want to keep my hand up here. It's like too hot there. Got the hot exhaust coming out the back. Up top here, it's cool on top. It's really cool up here. Here is warm, but really the hottest areas are here and higher up here. But up here is cooler. That's pretty interesting. Alright, so I've got a thermal imaging camera here, and we see that is showing that there's a lot of heat down bottom there by the door. It's not showing the top. I guess up here in the front it's not as hot. But let's see what it says around the side here. Yeah, it's showing that the bottom is hotter than up here, although this felt pretty hot to me by my touch. But it's showing that the bottom is hotter according to its read. Then we see around the back, things are pretty hot. It does confirm that things are very cool on top, so very cool, except for that little spot right there is pretty warm. That's pretty interesting. And so going around to the other side just to give you a view of the other side of things. So that gives you a thermal imaging idea of how things are. Now I'm going to check if opening the door will auto pause it, and it doesn't, but you hit the pause button and it pauses. So looking at the thermometer here, if you can see that, it is well over 400. I mean, we're talking near 450 there, so it gets pretty hot. Now closing back up here and hitting the start pause again to get things running again, we see it gets going again. And I'm just going to check making changes on the fly, how that goes. So if I like up the time, it'll accept that. It takes a moment, but it does accept the change. Changing the temperature down 10 degrees. Give that a moment. And it does accept time and temperature changes on the fly. So now I'm going to basically pause things and turn it off and turn it back on, and we'll see if air fryer remembers anything. It doesn't, so there's no memory at all. So now I'm going to do a toast test. The air fryer is still kind of hot from doing a burn off, but we're going to go with it. And I've got one slice that's buttered of my homemade spelt whole wheat light sourdough bread. A video is here on the channel of how I make it. And so just going to put that in here. Only enough room to hold one slice of this bread. So I'm going to hit air fry, and I'm going to up temperature to the max to 400 For the time, I'm going to bring that down to, let's do 5. It's probably going to cook it pretty hard, but we'll see what we get. Alright, time's up. I do need to mention that this bread is more resilient than store-bought stuff, so 5 minutes won't hit it as hard as, you know, what you might get from a store. But that looks pretty good. I mean, we got some good, you know, melting of the butter. The bread is looking good. I'm going to show you the back. Of course, I didn't flip it over, but the back shows the melted butter melted through there. So, pretty good job on the toast. Alright, so now I'm going to do an air fry test. What I've got here are a few frozen chicken wings, and I've got them coated with a light coating of extra light olive oil. Don't confuse that with like extra virgin or other types of olive oil. It has a very high smoke point. And I've also seasoned things with some lemon pepper seasoning and a popular crab seasoning. Believe it or not, crab seasoning on wings tastes very good. And so the air fryer is still a bit warm, and so I'm just going to go ahead and put the wings in, the full frozen together set of wings. I'm not going to do, you know, another additional preheat. This hand hasn't touched anything, by the way. So, turning it on, go in the air fry. I'm going to go up to 400, and I'm thinking I'm going to need between 30 to 20 minutes. So I'm going to hit start. I'm going to let them run for about 15 and then check them. Alright, things have been going for 15 minutes, so hitting the pause, and I'm going to check the temperatures just in case. You see how they look there after cooking for 15? I mean, they're almost done after 15 minutes, so I'm going to flip them and give them 5 on the other side, and I think we might be done. So, just taking these, breaking them apart, and flipping them over. Actually, there are 4 of them there. I thought there was like maybe 3, but there are 4. So you can see all 4 of them there now. So I'm just going to stick them on back in. Check them in 5 minutes. Alright, 20 minutes, hitting pause here. Let's see what we got now. I think they're probably done. See how they look there. Do some temperature testing. Well, we're like almost there. I know some of you, are into the carryover. Yeah, this one is way done. That one's done totally. When I check it, I mean, it's in the 200s already. Yeah, that's 20 minutes. This one here, also way done. Let me check another part. Yeah, way done. Let's see this one. Yeah, this one's way done too. So this other one that was kind of low, I mean, I know I'm cross-contaminating a little bit, but yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. So I'm gonna pull this one too, even though it's a little cooler. Just gonna use the meat probe to pull things out, just turn it off. So let me know what you think about these wings. 20 minutes from frozen. That's pretty good. So now let's talk about cleaning this air fryer. Basically, you want to unplug it, let it cool down fully. And then the basket and the crisper tray, they say are dishwasher safe. Personally, I wash things by hand. I found with any cooker, things last longer when you wash by hand. So you can use like a warm soapy dishcloth to clean things off, and then a wet one to wipe things off, and then dry things off fully. And they say if anything gets stuck on like the basket or the crisper plate, you can soak it, and don't use anything abrasive again. You can use a cleaning brush to clean the heating element. I'd recommend you use like a soft or medium non-metallic type of brush for that. And of course, don't submerge the main unit in water. So let's talk about the warranty. The air fry comes with a 1-year limited warranty, so that's pretty much standard. And so we see that it was able to do everything that it was given very well. It was able to make up toast quick. It's able to air fry wings from frozen quickly. Very good job there. So it's a solid air fryer for, you know, a little 4-quarter. It does it pretty well. And so I hope that you did enjoy this video, but nothing in this video is sponsored, nothing given to me. And so there's lots of ways to help the channel. Also, you can always check out my blog, superwaveovenrecipes.com. Again, it's superwaveovenrecipes.com. It's got links to all the reviews. It's got recipes going all the way back before I was even on YouTube, doing stuff for years. And so there's a lot there to check out. Also in the video description, there's stuff like YouTube merch, membership, donations, and also there's stuff like buy me a coffee links there. Also there are links to many popular shops that you know well, so you should check that out. And also if you see the shop icon, you can use that to buy this air fryer, and that helps the channel buying through the YouTube shop icon. And there are free ways that you can help also. There's a hype button. If you see this video in the first 7 days of release, you could hit that hype button up to 3 times to help get this video out to more people. Also, you can give this video a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe, hit that notification icon, and good eating.